I think sketch comedy looks like improv. The actors are bringing to the stage the material, but they're bringing not just the material, but they're bringing personalities with each of the people playing the parts. And that's what brings everything out. I think comedy went from an interest to an obsession, probably in college when life started getting real. And laughter is what brought me out of funk and stuff. It released tension. And after college, I started working in Aspen at a musical comedy review, similar to what this is, but it was a dinner theater. That's what Laffing Matterz was based upon. And this is another iteration of another generation of what came from that. It became an obsession sometime in Aspen, how you could bring an entire room of people from all different backgrounds together. Even more so were the backgrounds different when we were in Fort Lauderdale. It was a more metropolitan area. And you'd see people of every different race, color, and creed laughing their butts off about things that we all just needed to have a little levity upon.
Sketch comedy, it was kind of a hit or miss with me. I was always a little bit intimidated by sketch comedy, and I was asked to audition for a show out of college. I auditioned for a show called John and Juan's Wedding, and it was set up as a workshop versus an actual audition. So we all were improvising as we went. And I really realized that, with the right group of actors, it was fantastically, satisfying. It was really satisfying as an actor to just be able to have a little bit of freedom, yet, keep the other actors on their toes as well. The process that I enjoy most about sketch comedy is that you can really develop a whole different scene from the original scene. And it really is just a matter of working with the right people that you can feed off of back and forth that I enjoy the most. I really like being able to come up with new characters, thinking way outside of the box, and having true, honest feedback. Sometimes a sketch will work, sometimes it won't, but that freedom to have a little bit of fun back and forth with fellow castmates is truly what I love about sketch comedy.
So why I love sketch comedy, what I think is so unique about it is the flexibility that you have as an actor. With sketch comedy, you can pretty much be and do whatever you want because there's no typecasting. You can be any kind of character. And so there's a lot more freedom for actors and actresses to be able to explore different characters and characterizations and accents, dialects, just be any kind of person you want to be. And I think it's effective because I think people, find it they need that comedic relief, especially now, with what we went through in 2020 and what we're still going through. I think people, it's like a release for them, to be able to, it's that comic relief, to be able to just put things aside, be able to watch, something that it will just bring you joy and laughter in these tough times that we've been in. And it's relatable too, relatable topics, political, social, economic, situations that we've been in, and put a turn and a spin on them to make it funny, so you don't have to think about how serious and difficult it has been for us. And the other, beauty of sketch comedy too, I think, is that because these vignettes are so short, if it's something that makes you feel uncomfortable when you're watching it, or you don't think it's that funny, it'll be over with in a few minutes. So, and then hopefully the next one will be really funny and make up for that maybe sketch that you didn't find quite as funny as maybe some other people had. So I think that's kind of the beauty of sketch comedy.
When did I first fall in love with sketch comedy? I guess you could say that it was when I auditioned for Laffing Matterz in Fort Lauderdale back in 2005. And I didn't really even know what sketch comedy truly was at that time. But being part of the inaugural cast, we got to go through a pretty intensive rehearsal process. And that's when I learned that it was just one of those things where anything kind of goes. You put everything you have out there, and there's so much that's funny and there's so much that's not. So the exploring of all of that and really finding the funny in things, but playing the funny as a real thing. You can't play the funny as something that's funny. You have to play it as if it's real and serious, and that's the humor in it. So I guess that's really when I got to dig into my corny / sarcastic / jokester side and just explore all these different avenues for things. That was just it was just so much fun going through that process, and hook, line, and sinker. Once I found that niche and really started to explore that style of comedy, and there was a good directing team behind it, so they were able to help me fine tune my instincts, and it created a monster. And since then, and being with Laffing Matterz for, I guess it was about a year and a half or so, I was with that company. I've been in love with that style of comedy since then.
I fell in love with sketch comedy watching the Carol Burnett show. Every Saturday, our family would sit down and watch that show together. And I watched every single episode. I wanted so badly to be just like Carol Burnett. I wanted to have a show just like hers. And I would, put on little skits for my family with my sister reluctantly joining in and the neighborhood kids. And the thing I liked so much about it was just all those fun characters and the fun costumes. And I wanted to do something like that. And it wasn't until I found I did a lot of productions throughout my career when I did become a professional actor, where I would get to play more than one character. And those were usually the things that I would go for, is try to get in shows that had an actor that got to play 3 or 4 different characters. I liked doing that. I always really enjoyed that. And building characters and developing characters is one of my favorite things to do.
So I first sort of became obsessed with the idea of musical sketch comedy when I was hired for a company called Laffing Matterz in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This was probably, I don't know, so many years ago. But I ended up staying there for 7 years at Laffing Matterz. The servers were your entertainers. So we would come out, we would serve, we would serve the entire dinner up until the show starting. And then we would do political and social satire. It is what Funny Bōnz is based off of. But we would do these, sketches and musical numbers that were all spoofing what was happening in today's society. And this was an ongoing gig. So I stayed with Laffing Matterz for over 7 years. And it never got old because the show changed almost every week. Every week there was something new coming in and something going out. There, of course, are things that everybody loved. But that's when sort of the idea of musical sketch comedy sketches and that kind of thing, I became really sort of obsessed with. I've always been a fan of Saturday Night Live growing up. Thankfully, I'm lucky that my parents, let me watch those things growing up as a kid. And so I've always been interested in it and how it all worked. But it wasn't really until Laffing Matterz that I became, that I worked at it and that I studied it, and I sort of feel like I crafted it,
Laffing Matterz was sort of a second generation creation from the Crystal Palace in Aspen, Colorado. I met my husband there, and we lived and worked there he was there 15 years, I was there 11, but we wanted to have a family. We wanted to live a quote unquote normal life in an area where we could afford to buy a house and have a family. And we found an investor that moved us to Fort Lauderdale. And it was the best possible place we could be, smack between Miami and Palm Beach, a really diverse metropolitan area with a large tourism base as well, to help supplement the days. We found the most amazing talent pool here, and we had nine successful years running there. It was pretty wonderful, but things have to come to a close at some point, and that did end. But I'm grateful for all the time, and now I'm really excited to be bringing it to a different platform, but it works perfectly for the times we're in right now with the COVID pandemic.
I love the sketch comedy format because I feel like I'm really good at it. I think, so of course I love it. I think I got good at it, better at it doing Laffing Matterz because it's live. You can rehearse for a bit, but then you get out there and you have to make it happen in front of the audience. And I really love that audience interaction. And I love switching back and forth from character to character. And I think that's why I really love the sketch comedy platform the most. Like with Laffing Matterz, I would have maybe 8 different characters I'd play in one night. And it was just so much fun to go out, do one number, go backstage. And I'd have this ritual backstage of changing into these different characters. And then I'd put on the earrings, the wig, the outfit, and to take on the physicality and become another character. And then that would be 5 minutes and back off stage, get ready for the next character, and put on the new wig and put on the new costume and the new physicality and come out with the new voice and be the other character. And I just loved it. It gave me a real adrenaline rush. And I really felt like that's what I should be doing with my life. And the audience, I love the audience reaction. To get a laugh out of the audience is just, and to get, to see them smiling and happy, it was just the best feeling ever.
So I wanted to be a part of the Laffing Matterz group because there was nothing like it in Southern Florida. There really was no dinner theater that was like this in this format. It's like this Vegas style venue and, political, social satire set to music. It was a combination of everything I love to do. I love making people laugh. I love singing. I love acting. And, even though we had to wait tables, I had many years of waiting tables because you do that as an actor as well. So, but it was, I think, because I knew I was going to be on stage with so many amazing actors and actresses, such talent. I also knew new friendships were going to come out of this. That's another reason I wanted to be a part of it. And just the excitement of being a part of something new, brand new, that hasn't been seen in that area of the state. I was so excited to be a part of it. And I think on top of being on stage with these phenomenal people, I loved the point where the patrons discovered that their server was part of the cast. Their server was one of the performers. And I love the epiphany when they see you on stage after you've just been serving them their dinner and their dessert. And then they see you on stage and you perform, and it's like they have this enormous respect for you. And it reflected in a bigger tip as well at the end of the night, and just the accolades you get for doing everything we did do is, having to go through the stress of being a server and it was very stressful. And then you have to worry about, your lines and the scenes and making your targets and hitting your targets, I should say. And, making sure that you're on spot, remembering your music, your lyrics, your dialogue. It was exciting. So I loved being a part of it.
I think the popularity of Laffing Matterz came from the fact that the customers, the guests, were invested because they had spent over 2 hours with you, with us serving them their dinners, and then at intermission we would come out and bring their desserts and their coffee, and then they would just be so excited and love talking to us about everything that happened in the first act and that they couldn't wait for the second act. And we would have a lot of repeat guests who would come back over and over. And I think that was part of the success, was that one-on-one connection with the performers, the fact that the performers were also your servers. I think that was part of it, but I also think the material had a lot to do with it too. We had some incredible writers, as does Funny Bōnz right now, some really, really great young up-and-coming writers out in California who are working on the project, who are doing an amazing job with some new material. So I think that, the material combined with just the overall atmosphere in its original incarnation, the venue was just unbelievable. It was built specifically for it. It was tiered. See, that you felt like you were in a Las Vegas showroom, but you were in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So I think there was many things that lent to the success of Laffing Matterz in South Florida.
I think because of the nature of it having, well, first of all, fantastic producers, fantastic. So, and I've been working the theater community my entire life, and the Mark and Rita Wells were the very best theatrical people that I've ever worked for, ever. They're the best. They take such good care of you, and they really supported me. So I think Laffing Matterz made it for 9 years and was so successful is because not only of the producers, Mark and Rita Wells, and their passion for their program that they had, but also they were professional, and they treated all of us like professionals, and the pay was really good, and they respected us to make decisions, and they respected our talent, and they respected our choices, especially mine. Like I felt like I was given an opportunity to really create along with them, and they supported that, and they wanted us to be creative along with them. And the nature of sketch comedy live is anything can happen. And that was a lot of fun, being able to spar with the audience and with each other and live in those small moments of whatever scene we were doing. And we did a lot of really cool topical sketches that had a lot to do with what was going on in the world or in the country at that time, whatever year we were doing it. And that's another reason why I think it was successful, is we were able to pick apart and poke fun and have fun about all of the things that we were going through. And the audience and all of us actors all share that.
I think Laffing Matterz was so successful because of the fact that there was nothing like it in Southern Florida, but mainly because of the pure talent on stage. You could have the best sketches, the best music, but if you didn't have the stellar performers to be able to carry it out effectively, it's not going to be successful. And it basically was because of the talent and the direction and, the leadership under Rita and Mark, and the musical direction, how they kept everything topical, and they brought, something new to the stage all the time. So you weren't seeing the same show all the time. So it was also successful because the food was good, that also made it a huge success. I have to give kudos to the executive chef and his team, and how amazing the food was. It was truly fine dining. So I think people really appreciated the fact that the servers were the entertainers. And so they wanted to support that. And they wanted to continue to support that. Just to keep that alive, they kept supporting it and kept coming, knowing that they'd be entertained every night. So that's why I think it was successful.
So ever since I started at Laffing Matterz, it was one of those artistic experiences where a family was instantly grown. It was instantly put together. The cast was comprised of we had all worked together. We all knew each other in one way, shape, or form, or had seen each other on stage. And we bonded so closely and had so much fun with that style of comedy that it was 16 years ago almost that I was first cast in the show. And I don't think in the 16 years that a day or two has gone by where I haven't thought about it, talked about it, or talked with people that I experienced it with. And because it just really sunk into my gut as far as being able to just have fun with that style of theater and that style of comedy, I knew that someday I would find a way to make it happen again. And over the years, I've thought about trying to get a group of us together and putting a Laffing Matterz style show out onto cruise ships. When we were at a theater in Long Beach, there was a perfect perfect setup for a dinner theater where we could do a Laffing Matterz type production, but then COVID hit. So I just was trying to find something to do with P3 during this quarantine where we can't do live in-person theater. So I contacted Rita Wells, who was my boss, and she was the producer and founder of Laffing Matterz. I said, what do you think about taking that style show and making it virtual? And it opened up this huge can of worms that I'm just so excited about. And so excited that finally, 15, 16 years later, we get to take that show and put it into its new carnation of Funny Bōnz.
John Peterson from P3 Theater Company had approached me about a year ago asking if I would help him create almost Laffing Matterz West in California with his company. And we tossed the idea around, and it was something we were going to look at further down the line. And what ended up happening was the world shut from the pandemic. And John was getting creative and started doing some things online. And it occurred to him that we could do our concept online with the help of his amazing co-creator, also Brian Russell, is making it possible that we can have entertainers in Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Decatur, Illinois, and LA all together on a stage virtually at the same time. It seemed like a really crazy but fun project, and we're excited to see it hopefully succeed.
So when I sat down with Rita Wells and we started to talk about who were we going to cast in this show, we figured one of the best things to do would be to reach out to certain people who had worked with this style of comedy previously and were very successful at it. And we reached out to them to ask them to be a part of this show. It's a difficult enough style of comedy to master when you're in a room with your colleagues. But now we're stuck and confined in our homes. So it's even harder to teach somebody who doesn't have experience in that style through a TV screen, if you will. So we selected 5 cast members from previous Laffing Matterz incarnations, if you will. It ran for 9 years, so there were so many cast members. And then from there, we saw what we had left, and we filled those spots with people that we knew. So the people we did cast, Rita and I have either worked with together or separately, but we assembled a cast of amazingly talented performers, and they will not disappoint you. I can guarantee you that.
I think it was in October, Rita Wells reached out to me to ask me if I'd be interested in something like that. Because of the pandemic and everything, nobody's really has any kind of outlet as artistic types. So when she reached out to me and told me it was an online format and John Peterson's theater company was doing it, and that we would be able to do it from all over, pretty much virtually from all over the country. And it's something very new. And would I be interested? And I said, heck yeah, I'd be very interested, because it's an opportunity to have an outlet while we're stuck in this pandemic, trying to protect ourselves from COVID. And I was just honored to be a part of it, to be considered to be a part of it, because there are only so many actors involved. And I was so honored. Out of all the actors that went through Laffing Matterz, they thought of me, and it really meant a lot. So I was very excited to be a part of that.
I first heard about the concept of Funny Bōnz when John Peterson, the creator, and Rita Wells, one of the original creators of Laffing Matterz and now a co-creator of Funny Bōnz, they reached out to me and said, "Listen, we've been doing some virtual theater. We're trying to figure out our way through this, and we'd like to take the Laffing Matterz concept and turn it into a virtual concept." And I was on board immediately. There was just no way that I was going to say no to that. I'm getting to revisit some of my favorite tunes that I got to do back in the day at Laffing Matterz, as well as take on some new and exciting material as well. So there was just no way I was saying no to this opportunity.
I wanted to be part of P3 basically because John Peterson is one of my best friends. He had initially asked me, to be a part of a perfect year that we had done for New Year's Eve. Because I live in Houston, I haven't been able to be a part of his theater in California, obviously. So when he talked about doing something virtually after the pandemic hit to keep his theater alive, I was all on board. And when he talked about, what do you think about bringing Laffing Matterz back, or Laffing Matterz style, doing it virtually? Do you think it'd be successful? I'm like, absolutely. I mean, we have to try this. And so anything I can do to support John and his theater, to keep it alive and keep it going, I was all on board with. I mean, because as we all know, it's not just the actors that are affected, by this pandemic and theaters being shut down, but it's everybody else. It's, the stage managers, the technical crew, costume designers that were all affected by it, and the directors, of course. So that's why I want to be a part of it. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. I'm thrilled to be on stage virtually, with some of the talented folks I was on stage with during Laffing Matterz.
I first heard about P3 Theater through John, who is a very close friend of mine. We met in about, I believe, 1999 or 2000, and we met doing a regional tour of Chorus Line, and we remained friends from then on. And so once he opened P3 Theater, I had reached out and I had said, if there's ever anything I can help you with, please let me know. I run a performing arts studio in South Florida, and he's in California, so we couldn't collaborate, live. But when Funny Bōnz came around, I had ironically sent him a message a few weeks before just saying, hello, hope all is well, because we all need the help we can get right now in the theater industry. So I was just reaching out and saying hello, and then they actually had an opportunity for me to jump on board with Funny Bōnz because they had a replacement that they needed to make. And I happily said yes. I was sent a script within, the day, and I just started plowing through it, and then the rest is history.
So I believe sketch comedy is good for the soul because laughter is good for the soul. We know that after after laughing, it gets your blood flowing, it gets the oxygen going. You feel sort of a euphoric feeling if you get to the point where you have laughed really hard, and that's really kind of what we're going for. That's the aim. That's the goal. Is to to feed your soul in that way with some laughter and lightheartedness.
Sketch comedy is good for the soul because there's too much serious business happening right now in the world. So it really gives you insight to kind of your inner child, especially if you're doing sketches about, things that are nostalgic to others, or even making light of serious situations. It gives you the opportunity to just release that feeling. And it's satisfying. It's happy, right now, especially with coronavirus, we need a little bit of comedy in our life. We need a little bit of happiness. We need a distraction from, watching serious documentaries and analyzing scripts, so sketch comedy gives you that relief.
I think sketch comedy is good for the soul because it takes you to a different place. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, people have been going through all these difficulties, especially now. I mean, it's always been that way. I think sketch comedy has always taken people to a different place that they know they can just escape for an hour and a half and wonder what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in these sketches. There's no like trailer that tells you, like a movie, what you're going to plan on seeing. So I think it's the element of surprise also that, it catches you off guard, and I think, oh my gosh, these people went there. They touched on a topic that you didn't think anybody else would do. So, and I think it gives people a chance to really be able to discuss with other people. Did you see that that sketch they did on SNL or some other format? And then it gives great opportunities to have really meaningful discussions, through some of these sketches. And I think that's another reason that it touches the soul, is that it makes you think, it makes you laugh, and it takes you on out of the place that you've been in, where you've been experiencing difficulty, stress in your life. It takes you away. It's an escape.
So Funny Bōnz is an extension of this sketch musical comedy that was Laffing Matterz. It's a very similar style show. However, we are all in our own homes and we're not on a stage with a brick wall behind me or brick wall behind us as we were on the Laffing Matterz stage, or as you would expect on like a stand-up comedy stage in New York, that type of thing. We are 8 different actors in our own homes spread across the country, and we are taking this comedy and bringing it to you through your screens. Now, one of the coolest things about how this production is going to happen is a lot of the Zoom productions and streaming productions you've been seeing since COVID has hit has really just been that kind of like a bunch of boxes on a screen with some type of green screen background and actors talking back and forth, doing scenes and not being in the same location. With the technology, and I'm not even going to begin to try to explain or to try to make it sound like I actually understand the technology behind it, but Brian Russell, our streaming technician and video engineer and the mastermind behind the whole technical side of this, is able to create a 3D virtual set where it will appear as if all of us actors that are in Houston, outside Chicago, in Fort Lauderdale, in Los Angeles, in Orange County, it's going to make us all look like we are together on that virtual comedy club stage. So you'll be looking at your screen and you'll think and feel like you're in this comedy club with us.
So this Funny Bōnz concept right now is a cast of 8 folks, 5 of whom were original cast members of Laffing Matterz. And we have come together from all over the country virtually. We've been rehearsing via Zoom and some other technical platforms that I don't even know the name of. And we are producing this show that's basically, it's satirical comedy, poking fun at current events a little bit, pop culture, social situations. It's really important to laugh right now. So we thought Funny Bōnz would be a humorous solution, pun intended. And we have musical sketch comedy. We've got musical numbers, group numbers, solos, sketches, duets. It's really going to be fun.
The Funny Bōnz online performance opportunity is the way I see it. I think if I were to explain it to an audience, what they were going to see is a completely new type of performance. It's not like a YouTube video, which, we're all used to enjoying and watching. And it's not like a Zoom musical either. Like you see Zoom plays and musicals and show choirs and musicians like making Zoom videos and things. It's not like that. They've actually they found a way to incorporate a live cabaret style theater along with partially recorded pieces and live pieces. So we're going to be coming into live streaming. So it will be live what they see, as well as some of it will be recorded. So it kind of reminds me of like Baron von Ness sketch show out of Canada, or maybe kind of like Saturday Night Live a little bit, but it's set in a theater form. So what the audience will get to see is what it would look like if they were still sitting in a theater and we were on a stage, because they have found a way with green screens and found a way to put us on stage. So the audience, I won't get to see what the audience sees, obviously, but I can't in theater either. But I will get to be a part of, in a completely new format, to an audience that I cannot interact with, but they will get to see us as if they were in a real theater because of the way we have framed it.
So the new Funny Bōnz group is the tagline is the Humerus Solution. I think we are all living in a time where we sort of realize how important laughter is. So it's about getting back to that. It's getting, there is nothing's off limits. We're making fun of everything and everyone across the board. It's just so important, especially nowadays, to let go, to laugh, to forget about the real world and real life, if only for the hour and a half, or whatever it's going to be. Absolutely. So the show will air live 2 times. So it'll be on the East Coast and on the West Coast. There will be differences in the show, not major differences, but some of the sketches will have references to the fact that we are live on the East Coast, and then when we do it on the West Coast, so those references will be changed to specific locations and things that are out there on the West Coast. So there will be differences, and you will know that you are watching a different version of the show.
I think the new Funny Bōnz production is all about being able to incorporate a lot of the some of the same skits we used to do at Laffing Matterz, but also new skits that we are able to reproduce on a virtual stage, with the brilliance of a young technical gentleman named Brian Russell, yeah, and he is just amazing to be able to reproduce these skits to look like we were actually on a stage. So it is virtually bringing those people into the theater, even though they're sitting at home. So that's the goal here, is to make them feel like they're actually in a comedy club again, when they're not really able to do that now. You may be able to go to a comedy club somewhere, 25 to 50% capacity maybe, but a lot of people don't want to do that right now. They still don't feel safe going anywhere like that. And also, you're not going to find these musical comedy skits in a comedy club. It's usually just straight comedy, whereas we offer something very different, in the safety of your own home. So I think that's kind of the concept of Funny Bōnz, is to bring joy into the comfort of your home, have some laughs, and hopefully keep coming back.
I would say my definition of Funny Bōnz and the Funny Bōnz cast members, we're an eclectic group of actors with incredible talent. There's a lot of talent in that cast, that is definitely going to take people for a ride of laughter. And we're going to push the envelope a little bit with some of our tactics, with some of our sketches. It's a group that everybody enjoys working together, and everybody enjoys creating this new virtual theater. I think Funny Bōnz is going to be a great extension to the P3 company. I think even when everything slowly comes back to normal, this is something we could do in addition to live theater, because we can share it with everybody. You'll get to see all the quirky characters that make up our cast, both fictional and non-fictional. And who knows, this can go on for a long time.
I would love it if the audience's takeaway from Funny Bōnz, the Humerus Solution, it was just that brief moment to escape, that brief moment to disappear into another world, to laugh, to have a good time, and to forget about the things that are tough in life right now. But there's so much of that. We need more of this. And so I hope that the takeaway is, grateful for a fun and funny escape.
I hope the audience really gets that we're there with them in their living rooms or bedrooms, wherever they're watching, and that though we're apart, we can be together and laugh together. I really want to get that. I want them to have that feeling that they're in an audience, actually there, even though they're not actually there. But we will. It is live. It's not something that's going to be. Parts of it are taped, but we're all going to be there at that time. And I want to be able to feel that, like to feel the love, to feel the laughter together.
What I'm hoping the audience gets out of the Funny Bōnz streaming event is, first of all, I hope they enjoy the material, because it's all new. We just created a lot of this, and some of it we brought back from past performances, that just stuff that we always enjoyed and we know the audience always enjoyed. So number one, we hope they get a kick out of it, and they enjoy it, and perhaps get to forget about life for a while and just have some fun. Kind of like when you watch a movie and you just have such a good time and you just are transfixed and you just forget about the world. I hope that's what they feel. And I also hope they really like it and enjoy our personalities and enjoy watching us flip from character to character. And I'm hoping to develop a relationship with the audience so that they'll come back and we can do more of this and let's innovate and try a new way of performing and a new way of enjoying theatrical performance online. I mean, we're innovating here, so let's do it. Why not? And I just hope that the audience gets behind it. And I hope they're not too judgy. Like, ooh, this is new and different. This sucks. Or I hope that they're like, wow, this is new and different. This is really cool. I want to see it again. Or, so I hope that they like it and they want more of it and they'll take part in more of it. And I hope that it'll help John's theater succeed, because theaters are dark right now. Theater is not happening right now because of the pandemic, and it's dire straits for theaters all over the world. And it's such an important outlet, not only for performers and technicians, but for audiences. And we need that. We need to be able to come together again that way. And we can't right now because it's just not safe. So we have to find a way back to it. And I think this was a fantastic opportunity and a fantastic innovation by John Peterson and his crew to make this happen. So I hope they love it. I just hope they have fun.
What I would like the audience to get out of the Funny Bōnz experience is pure joy. I want them to take an hour out of their day and not think about the bills, not think about cooking dinner, not think about, what our country has been going through, whether it's politics or coronavirus or, everything, past, present, future. So just literally take a good solid chunk out of the day and laugh, and I want them to enjoy the performance and not overly think about it. Just say, oh, that was funny. Oh, that was very entertaining. I'd like to see more. So if we can make the world escape for an hour or two and enjoy themselves without taking anything too seriously, then we've done our job. Because right now, that's what we need. We need a little smiling, a little laughter, and a new fresh start to 2021.
What do I want the audience to get out of it? I want them to feel like this is something totally new and different that they've never had access to. That, wow, this is really cool. You've got Saturday Night Live, but, I think it's great to really think about, wow, these are not folks these are not professional actors coming out of New York. These are people that are doing this out of their homes across the United States, spanning from Florida, New York, here I'm in Houston and California, of course. So, I hope that they would take away, thinking, I want to keep supporting this, to support these non-equity actors, that are trying to make something good happen, and make them laugh and make them want to keep coming back.
I think the biggest thing that I want the audiences to get out of the Funny Bōnz performances is just a couple of hours of nothing but laughing. Not thinking about anything troublesome going on in their life or anybody else's life. Just have some fun. Just laugh at the silliness, find the bright side in everything, and just enjoy yourselves, because that's all it is. You don't have to even think. You can sit there in whatever attire you want to. You can wear mismatched pajamas as long as you have a cocktail in your hand, because the drunker the audiences are, the funnier we get. So just have a good time. We want nothing more, nothing less.
So the viewers must attend Funny Bōnz, because this will be unlike any experience that you've had up to this point as far as virtual entertainment goes. The fact that we are all in different locations across the country, we are all working with green screens. We are recording in real time, and we have an incredible young technicians who are putting us in the same virtual space. There will be the special effects that will be happening alone are going to be worth it. Again, I would say this is probably one of the most, if not the most innovative project I've ever been a part of in my career as far as technology is concerned. So that's why you don't want to miss it. Plus, the laughs are going to be abundant.
P3 Theater patrons must tune in and see Funny Bōnz and join us with this, because first of all, theater needs patrons and theater needs audiences. And in order to keep theater going, we have got to contribute. And it's such a small amount of your time and a really reasonable ticket price as well. And it will keep the future of theater alive so that when we get to that again, we'll have it. We'll still have it. So we have to support it. And we have put in so many hours and so much hard work in such an interesting, different way of working together all across the country. We've all come together to work on this. And I think they must see it to see what we have created, because it is new and it is an innovation that nobody else has come up with. So you'll be in on the front door. You'll be walking on the front door to something completely new. And I would like for them to know that they'll be pioneers. They will be groundbreaking our project, and I think they'll love it. And they will absolutely love it.
They must attend the P3 Theater event because if they want to continue to support theater, if they have a love for theater, if they have a love for live productions, then they've got to be able to know that when they log on and see this incredible performance, that it's just it's indicative of what's to come for P3 Theater in the future. If we can pull off doing this online and trying to make this all work, virtually from all different areas of the country, then they have to understand our passion and our love for this, for doing theater, doing the sketch comedy, trying to keep this theater alive. That's why they must attend.
Viewers should attend the P3 Funny Bōnz experience because you need to all relax and have fun. They should sit back, enjoy the show, and I love the feedback. This is not something I've done for a long time, and I think if we get requests for new sketches and new characters, I think people would truly enjoy that. I think they should watch it with their family, not their kids, but maybe their family members, their sisters. They could watch it virtually together and text back and forth what they liked and what they didn't like. I think it'd be a fun event for them.
People out there in the world absolutely need to go to their living rooms or wherever in your house. You have to come see Funny Bōnz because the world is too serious right now. Laughter is the best medicine, and I guarantee you there will be many, many laughs to be had in the 2 hours of production time. And if you don't give yourself the privilege and the pleasure of coming to see the show, you're going to really miss out.
I hope that Funny Bōnz can continue throughout the year till it's safe to produce virtual productions. And my hope is that P3 Theater Company can one day open a brick and mortar Funny Bōnz, or open their own theater and have a Funny Bōnz aspect at in some way, shape, or form at that theater, whether it's a dinner theater or it's just a show with cocktails, because the show's always better with cocktails.
Well, my hope is for the Funny Bōnz group in the future is that we can continue this online format that we have innovated, because it incorporates people all over the country. All of us artists all over the country are involved in this. We have Illinois, New York, Texas, Florida, California, and we're all working together. And it's not just actors, it's technicians as well. And I hope that we can continue doing that. But I also really hope that we can get into the theater and have a live production of Funny Bōnz again, Funny Bōnz, because I think it's turned out to be a really great venue idea. And I think that bringing us all together in a theater setting again would be a fantastic opportunity for the audience and for us. So I really hope to get back on stage with it live, because being able to hear that audience and the audience to be able to interact live with them again is what I miss. And I know the audience misses it. And I think it's going to be awesome, because it's kind of like a stand-up comedy club, but it's not. It's kind of like Second City in Chicago, but it's not, because it's a little bit more scripted, a little more musical theater, takes a little bit more preparation than complete improv, but it's something really special that I don't know there's a whole lot of out there. So I really hope that we can take it live in the future.
For the future of Funny Bōnz with P3, if they were able to get it to a point where it can be an in-person thing, I think that would be amazing. To sort of see this come back into a live venue would be absolutely incredible. I will hold a vision for the P3 Theater Company to have nothing but the biggest success with this project and all of the projects that they're working on, and the things that they're doing. It's really incredible work that's happening that we've all sort of been forced into trying to figure out how to do, but it's been an incredible ride so far, and I can only imagine that it will continue even after we can be all together again in person.
What I hope for the future of Funny Bōnz is that there's a nice combination of live and virtual. Hopefully we can continue a virtual stream for those of us that want to work together that are in different cities. But hopefully Funny Bōnz can, take hold in a theater at P3 in California, and then maybe Rita can open one up again down here in South Florida. There's lots of major cities, and we're all spread out. Right now we are in Orlando, South Florida, Chicago, New York, California, and Texas. So if there could be a Funny Bōnz, a flagship at P3 in California, and then open up a few smaller ones, I think it'd be great, and I think it'd be very successful, because comedy clubs, have been going on forever, and sketch comedy mixed with dinner, similar to Laffing Matterz, is always going to be a successful gig, because people want to take breaks from reality. People want to just enjoy a cocktail, quick dinner, and be entertained. And I think that's the best part of it. We can make Funny Bōnz grow, like I said, live and virtual. I think that's what I would like to see the future of Funny Bōnz be.
There are so many different ways we can approach it. So we're already looking ahead at this, and we've got a few different eggs in the basket, I think the phrase is. But we want to bring it to a theater and bring it to a dinner theater type setting. I think one of the coolest things about Laffing Matterz that I would love to bring and incorporate into the live in-person Funny Bōnz is that the actors were the waiters before the show. And one really cool thing about it is at least 50% of the audience didn't realize that. These people would be waiting on them, serving them this wonderful dinner, serving them drinks. And then all of a sudden the show starts, and those people who were feeding them and cleaning their plates and bringing them more wine and bringing them more food, they're all of a sudden on the stage, and they're the ones entertaining you for the evening. And I'm looking forward to the potential of actually making that happen again. Laffing Matterz was on the East Coast in Florida, and we're out here on the West Coast. And I would love to bring that concept out here and entertain our Southern California audiences with that.
Theater companies like the P3 Theater Company are so important and need community support, because theater doesn't have to be on Broadway to be important or to be successful. We need theater in our own backyards, because theater is a special art form that can change people and can give people, like young people need an outlet. We all need to understand the world and what's going on in the world, and to understand each other. And I think we're going through a time right now where theater would be so wonderful to be able to help people come together and work together towards that common goal of just humanity and understanding. And theater does that for people. And we have got to keep theaters like P3 Theater alive for our communities to come together and to have that experience that we all go to together, whether we're on stage or we're in the audience watching it. It's an experience that is live and cannot be ever experienced any other way. It's not like a movie you can put on a shelf and go by and watch again and again. It's an experience that happens once between the audience and the performers and the technicians. And it's very important to our our humanity. Theater's been going on since the Greek god Dionysus in the Greek times, and it's been going on forever, and it's a very important way that we learn lessons and we understand other people's opinions and we understand other points of view by seeing it enacted before us, and it moves us and we can feel it. And that's why live is important. I could go on and on about the importance of live theater, but the reason it's important in the communities is it needs to be accessible to every kid in that neighborhood, to every family in P3 Theater Company's community, and every community that wants to, every member of the community that wants to have that opportunity to go see a really cool show that they maybe can't get to Broadway to go see. That's what P3 Theater Company is for. That's what the smaller theater companies are for, is bringing really good quality productions to our communities so that you don't feel like you have to go somewhere else. Because guess what? The fantastic performers and technicians are living right in your backyard. They're in all of the communities.
Theater companies are so important to community. Theater companies can produce material that can bring you back to the past. It can bring you to the future. It can bring, their shows can bring you joy. They can expose wrong, depending on the material they're doing. It's so important. They bring community together, and to see other individuals in front of you, not on a TV screen, but you're seeing them up there giving their souls to you, whether it's in a song and dance or it's in a monologue, a heartfelt monologue. It's just something that you can't get that on television. You can't get that at a movie theater. Live theater is just, it's something that the world needs to keep alive, because there's nothing like it.
I think theaters like the P3 community and all local theaters and venues are so important because it creates a creative outlet for both the performers and the audience. I think the reason we all enjoy live theater is because there's an energy that you feel both in the audience and on stage that is really not easy to explain unless you're there in the moment, especially live theater and comedy. There's something about laughing in the moment with that person on stage. Sometimes actors break character, and that's even funnier. Sometimes the audience will find things funny that you didn't think were that funny. So that back and forth energy is what's needed right now in our world. A lot of times we spend everything communicating through cell phones. And we even laugh and we'll say, laugh out loud. And we're not laughing. We're just writing laugh out loud. So we forget to actually emote as people. So live theater to me is something that I believe will make a full comeback, but it's crucial. I think it's crucial for socialization. It's crucial for our children, and it's crucial for just having that human feeling back and forth.
I believe, theaters, smaller theaters like P3 are so important because it's not only giving actors, young actors, aspiring actors a chance to perform, on stage when they may not have an opportunity to do so otherwise. It's also giving audiences an opportunity to, enjoy these productions, experiencing maybe their loved ones being able to get up on stage for the first time. And just the importance of keeping theater alive, keeping actors, musicians, stage managers, technical folks, costume designers employed. It's so important just to keep those going and keep the support behind that for those reasons. Yeah.
Theaters like the P3 Theater Company, who are nonprofit, nonprofit companies out there just trying to provide this escape for the public and to keep theater alive, are incredibly important for just that reason. The arts is the first thing to always go. The arts is the first thing to suffer in any kind of situation where when there's forced cutbacks and there's things like that going on. So to keep theater going, to keep people, to keep providing a place to escape to so that you can disappear into a story for a couple hours and really be and experience that energy of live theater. There is nothing like it. While this all is really, really incredible and the technology of it is, sometimes it just completely blows my mind. There is nothing like sitting in a full theater and taking in that experience and going on that ride with, however many people you can fit in the theater with those actors on stage. The energy of that is why theaters like the P3 Theater Company and others like it are so, I believe, crucial to our society, and we cannot let them, suffer and go away.
It is imperative, if not crucial, for the communities to support their local arts organizations. Arts brings so much to the world. I mean, think about it. What have you been doing for the last 14 months? Watching Netflix, watching Hulu, watching Amazon Prime Video. Those are all forms of the arts. The arts provide education, they provide culture, they provide inspiration, they provide just a getaway from everything in the world, just sheer entertainment. And without your support, your local arts organizations can't continue, especially the local ones. You've got the big theaters like Segerstrom Center, you've got the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, you've got the Amundsen, you've got all the different huge Broadway roadhouses across the country. That's great. Support those too. But the core of your community is really your local theater companies. They're the ones that give back. They're the ones that bring in business for local restaurants, for hotels, for shopping in the areas around the theaters. So without your support, those theaters will not be able to continue, especially after the struggle that they've all faced during this time of COVID-19.
Oh goodness, is there anything that I haven't mentioned about John? I've known him, oh my goodness, since 2005, I believe. It was 2005. And his passion for productions, making quality productions, is evident by the amount of time and effort and the grueling task of trying to get this all completed. His dedication, his love for theater, his love and compassion also for the actors, all the other staff involved with his theater, to keep it alive is evident in his dedication, his hours that he's put into this. He's meticulous about making sure things are right and things are good. He does not want to put on a bad show, which is why we've been doing retakes of things. He wants a good product. He wants, to know that people are going to look at this and say, okay, this was fantastic. We want to come back for the next show. He's just, his passion for this wonderful art of theater is it's just so evident in everything he does.
I do hope you guys take the time to join us. This will be a recurring event, so we're going to try to bring you a couple of these in the coming months until we can get back into a theater. So check it out, have some good times, have some good laughs, and we hope to see you there.
If you've enjoyed what you've been hearing tonight and you want to learn more about what P3 is up to and what more we're doing to give back to our community, then visit our website at p3theater.biz. That's p3theatre.biz. If you've enjoyed what you've been hearing tonight and you want to learn more about what P3 is up to and what more we're doing to give back to our community, then visit our website at p3theater.biz. That's p3theatre.biz.